I'm going mostly the free agent route. All right. And these are a handful of, I kind of just have them laid out. I don't know if it's 7, but these are a few different things that I would like to see the Dodgers accomplish this year in free agency. One of them was to bring back Max Muncy, and they did that. And I'm going to exclude Kershaw from the list. I wanted to prioritize him back. Some of these are also depend on other things on this list, other players on this list. So these are basically a handful of different options that I think are available for the Dodgers. Step 1 is likely not going to be the first move that the Dodgers make this offseason after the Max Muncy move, but for me, it's the most important. And I know that the money and the funds involved in this particular player are going to affect everything else. And that obviously is to go out and get Shohei Ohtani. I think Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball. I think he is the perfect fit for this franchise. I know that we're looking at a guy who's likely not going to pitch this year, that will not be a part of the Dodgers starting rotation this year. And that does not solve the Dodgers starting rotation issues with a guy like Kershaw out, May out, whatever's up with Gonsolin, Walker Buehler, now losing Julio Urias too, and for good reason. But now the Dodgers need starting pitching, and Shohei doesn't immediately solve that. I don't care, and I know that nobody else does either. Shohei Ohtani should be the number one priority for not just the Dodgers, but not just the Angels, but the Giants and the Padres and the Mets and the Yankees and every other team in baseball. So I think if the Dodgers can go out and secure Shohei Ohtani, you have immediately the best bat in your lineup. And that's saying something when you've got guys like Mookie Betts and Will Smith and Freddie Freeman and Max Muncy to go along with them. And there is your everyday designated hitter. And that's priority number 1.
Yeah, Josh, that's the same for me. Signed Shohei number 1. I'm still a little hesitant to give him a deal north of $500 million just because of the uncertainty surrounding him potentially pitching in the future. We know he's likely not going to pitch next year. In 2025, how effective and good will he be? And if you're paying that kind of money for just a DH, that's a little bit risky. But this is, you can make the case, the best hitter in all of baseball. I mean, Josh, earlier when we talked about him briefly, he had 44 home runs last season, and he missed nearly 30 games. Like, if he would have played 160 games, he would have hit 55, maybe 60 home runs. We know what he does offensively. We know the star power that he brings. And if you add that bat to the middle of the Dodgers lineup, they could use another bat. And I think you got to do whatever you can to get this guy because he's a once-in-a-generation kind of player. And if you can bring him, if you can afford him, which the Dodgers can, you got to sign him. And again, I'm sure the bidding's going to be high. Whatever the final contract is, it's going to be a little too much that I'd be comfortable with. But hey, Josh, it's not our money. I know we're the GMs, but we're not paying. That's the owner's job. We just got to sign him.
I'll say something else, too. The team that lands Shohei is immediately vaulting up the World Series favorite list, if not being number 1. If the Dodgers land Shohei Ohtani, they will obviously be the favorites to win the World Series. And I think if the Rangers landed him, he would be. If anybody. If they land Shohei Ohtani, you are probably going to be the favorites to win. If it's any of maybe the top 7 or 8, like those teams that were expected to go deep in the playoffs or expected to be good in at the start of next season and are expected to make a splash in free agency this offseason. So sorry, Angels, but if he stays, the Angels aren't the favorite to win the World Series. You get what I mean? Yeah. But if you insert him into this Dodgers lineup, it goes without saying they'd be the favorites to win the World Series. But you look at the lineup of Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Max Muncy, James Outman, whoever those other players are. But if you have Shohei Ohtani as your designated hitter, without a doubt, there are no questions asked. That's the best lineup in baseball. And I accept that it doesn't matter who those other 2 or 3 bats are in the lineup. Like that is without a doubt the best lineup in baseball. So that's how important I think it is to make a legitimate push for Shohei Ohtani. I will say, I think you're right. I'm hesitant to give him $500 million if he's not going to pitch and you don't know what he's going to be, but you're right. There is likely a team. I don't know if the Mets have that money, but the Mets have been one of those teams in the past to throw absolutely everything at a guy like they did to Max Scherzer. We both on this show said the Dodgers should get Max Scherzer back. Saw what the Mets offered and said, I hope you have a great time, Max. Good luck to you. Wishing you all the best. But like, there is going to be a team that does that. And honestly, at that point, I think it's out of the Dodgers' hands. It's out of our hands right here. Like, if Shohei wants to play for a winning team, he's going to have to take a smart deal. And I'm not saying he doesn't deserve that, but I think that it's okay if the Dodgers and other teams are hesitant to go with that much money if he's not going to pitch. But he's a generational talent. He's the best hitter in baseball. You got to get this guy.
What are the odds that the Padres offer him like $600 million?
Very high.
Just,
very high. Very
are they gonna
high.
have to take out another loan?
I could totally see that.
They're gonna have to ask for public donations from every season ticket holder.
They said they were they're gonna raise season ticket costs by 150%. But yeah, they said that they wanted to trim their current mark by quite a bit. But I could see it.
I think I saw this on Twitter, Josh. Again, I like saw someone did a screenshot. I think it was from Bob Nightingale, and he wrote, again, I'd have to read the article, but I think it said something along the lines of the Padres are interested in trading Xander Bogaerts and potentially Fernando Tatis so they could free up money to try and sign Shohei. And I'm thinking, if this is not the most Padres thing I've ever heard,
they'd be the Angels.
I don't know what is.
If they did that, they would be the Angels, where they would give up two generational talents. Like, Fernando Tatis Jr. is a generational player. He's not Shohei. And he's one of the best players in baseball. But again, I think I've got like a top three of like, or maybe a top like Shohei, Trout, Mookie's up there, Acuna. And I'm not putting Tatis up there yet, but he's a top 10 like hitter in baseball, right? But if they give up these guys, they are the Angels. They're going to end up with two insane players in the lineup and not much else.
And they'd probably have to trade prospects to get rid of those contracts. Hey, if the Padres want to do that. Josh, my final thing on Shohei, every article I read, it seems like reporter that talks about it, they all say the same thing, and it's that the Dodgers are the favorites. Does that kind of worry you at all? That every single person is saying it's going to be the Dodgers? Because I feel now it's like what it was like a couple years ago when we went through this, and everyone thought he was going to go to the Mariners, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Angels come swooping in. Because I feel like, again, I've only heard the Dodgers. I've heard, okay, maybe the Giants, maybe the Rangers, maybe they get involved, but it's like everyone thinks he's going to the Dodgers. And that scares me because they're setting us up for the ultimate heartbreak.
Yeah, I don't know. I think trying to look at it objectively, I do think the Dodgers are probably the best fit. They've got the money to do it. I mean, do they? But yes, the Dodgers can afford it, likely. The Dodgers maybe can't afford it, but they will afford it, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do. The Dodgers will be able to afford it. And he fits in the lineup. He doesn't have to move if he doesn't want to.
Yeah, he gets to wherever he lives. He wants to stay there.
He wants to win. And he needs to be in a position to win, and the Dodgers are going to give him that immediate option to win. And the way that I look at this is like even the MLB gives their little projections, right? And the teams that they've got listed, hang on, let me pull it back up. The teams that they have as being like a good fit are, okay, where is it? The Angels. He's not going to win there. It's going to be another year of what it was. I've got nothing against the Angels, but it's not going to happen yet. If they go out and get more pieces, sure, but it's not going to happen yet. The Giants, likely not going to happen there either, at least not yet. The Mets, I don't see it yet. The Mariners, they're going to be better, but are they going to be a legitimate favorite? I don't think so. I think the Dodgers, out of the teams that they say are a decent fit, the Dodgers are the only team where he's going to go and immediately have a chance to win. And it's nothing against any of these other teams because obviously they can make a bunch of other offseason moves as well and build a really good lineup. It's entirely possible. But if the season started tomorrow and Shohei signed with the Dodgers and the Dodgers threw out whatever lineup they had tomorrow, the Dodgers would give him the best opportunity to win. And that's why I think that they are the legitimate favorite. But you never know. I'm not saying I'm worried, but I'm not sold on it. That's all I'll say.
I'm just very interested to see when the signing happens because I feel like it's to the point where obviously he's going to have, I'm sure, meetings and conversations in the coming weeks, but he has to have an idea at this point what he wants. Obviously, again, you want to hear what the Dodgers have to say. You want to hear what the Rangers have to say. but he has to have an understanding. So I'm interested to see if like it happens before Thanksgiving. Does this drag towards the middle of December? Does this go towards January? I'm interested to see how far it goes. So that's number one for me, Josh. That's number one for you. We're the GMs. We're going to make this happen.